As long as your website looks professional, clean, and beautiful, then you've ticked a box, right? Everyone should have a website, and that's all it's for. It's a marketing brochure online. Or is it an opportunity for growth? Have you missed something really important that you need to know about your website that will help you call in those clients? Welcome to Inner Business, the podcast that delves deep into the soul of entrepreneurship. My name is Selena Woodward, seasoned business owner, qualified business coach, and intuitive guide. I'm going to offer you actionable steps to increase your revenue whilst we explore how you are showing up in your business. Let's explore the blocks and connect the dots on your journey to business fulfillment. Welcome to the Inner Business Podcast. As always, I am your gracious host and business coach, Selena Woodward. Here, as always, to explore with you what your business is trying to teach you about your beautiful inner self. And in today's episode, I want to start a series where we begin to explore how we show up for our customers in really key points of our marketing strategy. And for some of you, you're already hearing marketing strategy and you're like, ugh. Stay with me, especially if you had like a whole body visceral experience when I said marketing strategy. These podcasts are not going to ask you to create some kind of business plan. What we're going to do instead is I'm going to really poke a little bit at the way in which you're showing up in your websites, in your emails, and in anywhere where you're using words to resonate with your potential customers. I actually think it's one of my favorite things to do. People who work with me know that I am actually really good at talking you through what you do as a business and then helping you to get that out in a way that will call new clients in. And it's very interesting what happens for my clients as we go through these processes. But before we even get to the point where we're thinking about what we're saying, I think it's really important that we consider why we're having this part of our business in the first place. So my first question to you is, do you have a website for your business right now? If the answer is yes, brilliant, keep leaning in. If the answer is no, I want you to think about why you don't have a website. Now, there is no right or wrong answer here. Some people do not have a website and they rely on social media as the main point of entry for their business. And there are pros and cons to that. And a website is yours. You own it, you find a host, but it's also something that is often a bit more of a barrier because I'm going to say the word technology. Some of the clients that I work with do not like technology and they're okay with social media. So that feels like an easy step. Regardless of whether you're using Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or a website as your main point of contact with your customers, what I'm about to share with you is really valuable. Because we're talking today and over the next few episodes about how we invite our customers into a story where they can see themselves and resonate with what you're sharing so that they feel called to join you on a journey of transformation. I know that everyone who listens to this podcast is likely doing some hard work. So there is some kind of transformation happening for your customers. And I touched on this quite a lot in last week's episode about reviews. And that's just kind of opened up now to make me think maybe it's time to get a little bit deeper into that. So my main question for you when it comes to your website or wherever your main point of contact for your customers is what is the purpose of that website? What is the why behind it? Interestingly, many people think they need a website so that they look professional. so that they have a place where they can send customers to go and get information. It needs to look gorgeous. It needs to look professional, and perhaps, hopefully, the images and the words on that website need to really show off what you can do and what products and services you have. This is a really common belief, but it's really interesting because it's missing an aspect of business. When we're creating a website because we think we should have one, and we're not thinking about what that website is going to do for us in our business, we really miss an opportunity. Your website, or whatever you're using as your first port of call for your customers, is actually a sales tool. It is supposed to be working harder than you. The clients that I work with me to construct a brand script. And often we use that brand script to create what we call a wireframe for a website that they can give to a web developer. And we do this with a very clear why in mind. And that is that the website is actually the top of a sales funnel. So if you imagine an upside down triangle with the point at the bottom and the big wide end at the top, your sale is at the bottom of the triangle, and you want as many customers as you can to enter the top of the funnel and filter down and purchase from you. The job of your website is to start a sales conversation. Now, I did mention the word sales funnel there and the word sales. So just tune in for a moment, because if the minute I mention sales, something gross happens again, make a note. Remember, we are all about what your business is trying to show you. You need to make sales if you're going to have revenue and you're going to grow your business, right? It is part of being in business. So we need to explore that sales button if it's being pushed as well. We'll look at that in another podcast, but for now, I just want you to be aware of it. Start noticing what that is so you can start sitting with that and really feeling into it. Because a website should not be what it was back in the 90s, which was, in most cases, I had a leaflet and I was giving these leaflets out, and now it sounds like I need a website. Can you just take this information and put it online for me? A website is a tool to connect you with your customers. And there are things that your website could be doing for you that will really skyrocket the impact that you can have in the community with the work that you are doing. You see, a website is not just an opportunity to share what you do or how qualified you are or ask someone to pick you. A website is an opportunity to connect and begin a relationship with a new customer. It's an opportunity to create a space of empathy and invite a customer to join you on a journey, which, by the way, is exactly what sales is. But we'll talk about that another time. I would encourage you to consider what I'm about to share with you and then go look at your website and see if you can see anything that I'm mentioning. See if there's any growth spots for you there. I didn't always know this. And the reason that I know this and I know it works is because I grew Edufolios, a 6-figure SaaS business, over 10 years. And I learned this the hard way. When I first launched Edufolios, I began with a website with a big statement about how we were going to empower teachers. I had a list of all of the features that my software that I had put out there had. So I was going to empower teachers with these tools. Look at all these things that I can do. And that's exactly what I thought my website should be. It should tell my customers what I do and what my software is. And of course, then there was another paragraph about me and the other founders of the business and why we were the people to help you. And it was a great website. It looked awesome. It was very clean. It was very professional. It had hardly anyone visit it. And it made about 9 sales in a year. And I took that website when I went on my first accelerator program in business with Bridge to Mass Challenge. And I actually had some really, really big names look over that website with me. And I learned an awful lot. But in the end, the website that actually converted and helped me grow Edufolios the most was one that was based on something called the Story Brand Framework. I grew my six-figure business using Donald Miller's frameworks like Story Brand, Marketing Made Simple, and eventually Business Made Simple. And the reason that I am now a Business Made Simple coach is because I know that it works. What I learned through trial and error and through using the Story Brand framework and seeing amazing results was that I'd completely forgotten to include someone very, very important on my website. In fact, this person is the thing that the whole website should be framed around. And that person is not you and what you can do. It's not your product. It's not your services. It's your customer. So if I look at your website and all I see is this is me and this is my qualifications and this is how I work and these are all my products, you can do this and this and this and this and this and this, then I can tell you now you have a really big opportunity on your hands where you can change the narrative of what you're saying, and instead of throwing them lots and lots of things to catch, you can show your customers themselves in a story in which you are the guide who helps them to solve a problem. The minute I changed the way I approached my marketing using that framework, my business grew exponentially. And I would love for you to understand and walk with me now as I share a few insights into what you should be looking for today, even in your website, in your email copy, because the Story Brand framework, once you have it netted out, once you have it written out and you know the 7 elements, can be used in your social media, in your emails, in your websites, on your banners, on your leaflets, on the email signatures that you write when you send messages to people. It appears everywhere. We have to remember that today there is information everywhere we go. We are bombarded with information. And so it's not actually information about what you do or who you are that your customer is seeking. Your customer is seeking connection. It is seeking to be seen, to be heard, and to be held in a way that it feels safe and they can move forward. Now, I know what I just said really resonated with you, so I'm going to say it again. Your customer is not seeking more information. They are instead seeking a place where they feel seen, they feel heard, and they feel able to see you as the person who's got their back and can invite them to come on a journey with you. They don't need another expert who's going to say how much better they are than them. They've found a lot of those already, and likely they haven't worked. They do need an expert who's been there and done that. But I know everyone listening to this podcast is an empathetic, heart-led person, and it probably feels really uncomfortable sitting there blowing your own horn or your own trumpet, whatever that saying is, in your copy. Again, why does it feel uncomfortable? Because that's not resonating with you. It's not going to resonate with your customers either. So let's think about that. The first thing I want you to do is get clear on the purpose of your website. So my first question to you is your website bringing you the leads and the customers that you are looking for? Have you even asked that question before? How do you know how many people visit your website month on month? You want to know that, because if you invest money in making your website, you want to know that it's calling to you the clients or potential clients that you're going to work with. What number of visitors do you have on your site every month? And is that going up or down? What are they looking at? It's really important. Usually the answer to what is the purpose of my website is to get more sales, to generate more leads. So you need to know whether it's working. And to do that, you're going to need to know how many people are visiting it, and you're going to need to know how many of those people are converting to sales. Simple, right? Bit techie again. But that's really important. So tune into that and think about whether you know the answer to that. Okay? The second question I would ask is, in 5 seconds of looking at your website, can a perfect stranger understand what it is that you do, how it will make their life better, and take action to work with you? And I don't mean your phone numbers on the bottom of the website. That's not how it works anymore. I mean, I can press a button and book an appointment with you. I can press a button and download something. How do I connect with you? Does your website make it clear what you do, how it makes me as the customer's life better, and can I take action straight away? Have a look. How many times do you call your customer to action and invite them to join you on a journey together if you look at your website? Or do they have to look for that somewhere in the footer? Where is it? How do they choose to work with you? Now, it's actually not all that easy sometimes to see things in your own website. And it's a really great idea to get a third party to come in and tell you what they see. So give your website to someone who doesn't really know what you do and ask them, what do I do? How do I make customers' lives better? And how can you work with me? We call that the Grunt Test. If they can't answer that within 5 seconds, then your website isn't working hard enough for you. The world we live in now is so overloaded with information. The last thing we need is to give lots and lots of things to our customers to interpret. In my sales webinar that I ran last week, I shared a story about going to a car dealership. This was a story that Donald Miller shared in one of his trainings, where he said to us, I went to the car dealership. He knew exactly which car he wanted to buy. He was ready to purchase. He walked into the dealership and said, I want this car. And the guy went, great, we've got a green one, a blue one, we've got air conditioning, we've got this, we've got that, and gave him 20 different features. At which point, Don Miller was like, actually, I don't want that car because clearly I need to go and do some more research as I don't know what I want. He was ready to spend his money and the salesperson made him walk backwards. If I come to your website and it says, I do massage, I do this, I do that, I do this, and there's like 6 options on the front, and I haven't been invited to see myself in the story, and it's all about what you do and who you are, and here are my services, I've got to really think about which service is appropriate for me. I can't see myself in a narrative with you. I just know what you do. There's lots of that about, and it's overwhelming, and it often means you lose the sale. The number of clients that I've sat here with, and once we've gone through StoryBrand and we've looked at some websites, and then they look at their website and they laugh and they go, oh, I see. Okay? StoryBrand is about making a homepage that's a little like a landing page, because every page on your website should have a call to action that inspires someone to work with you. But instead of focusing on what you do, it focuses on the difference you make. And I know that feels better to you already. All right? And it helps the customer to be invited into a story, into a narrative where they can walk alongside you, with you as the guide, with you as the person supporting them, and them as the hero of the story, not you. So right now, go look at your website and do the Grunt Test. Is it clear what I do, how I help you feel awesome or change something for you? And can you work with me with just one click? Is that clear? Check how many times you ask for them to work with you on your website. Is it hidden away at the bottom? If it is, it's no good. It needs to be a bold call to action. And also think very carefully about what you're choosing to put there. Is there just too much? It's full of clutter. There's a massive menu at the top that goes everywhere. There's 12 different products on the front page. What is it that you want? You want calorie-free, low-fat diet of text. We want lots of beautiful images that share the story instead, okay? So what could you do when you look at your website? What score would you give yourself? In fact, if you head to selinawoodward.com/quiz, I actually have a quiz you can walk through right now that asks you these questions and a few more, and will produce a report for you that will give you some really practical tips that you could put into practice right now. That's selinawoodward.com/quiz. SELENAWOODWARD.com/quiz if you'd like to go and do that. And that will walk you through the same kind of thing we're talking about here in the podcast. And if you're looking at your website thinking, oh my goodness, I do see some of those things and I don't know what's wrong with that, and maybe notice a fire in your belly coming up, please sit with that as well. Notice that. What is that? Are you being defensive? Are you defending your site because the overwhelm of having to do that all over again just feels horrifying? Or do you genuinely feel grounded, calm, fully in self? No, this is the message that aligns with my customers. Okay? Notice, be in your body and in your energy as we talk about this. And remember, having a third party, a coach or a friend, myself, if you want to work with me, to look over this with you can be really, really helpful, because that third party has not been in the weeds with it, is not lost in the trees in it. They are able to hear what you want it to say and help you. That's my special gift. My special gift is hearing what you're trying to communicate, connecting the dots, and coaching you through a process to help your message be crystal clear and aligned with your customers. So go check out your website and think about it through the lens of what your website's job is. If it's not bringing you the leads and the sales that you want, check that within 5 seconds, I can work out exactly what you do, how you will transform my life, and how I can work with you. The Grunt Test. Go and have a look at the marketing score quiz at SelenaWoodward.com/quiz and see if there's anything there that comes up for you. And tune in next week, where I'm going to begin to go through those 7 elements of story brand, and let's walk together on a beautiful journey, just a very high level one, where we tap into each of the elements and what that might be bringing up for you. Comment below if, when you go and have a look at your website, you have any questions for me. I'm happy to come and have a look at your website as well. If you put a comment below with a URL, I'll have a quick look and maybe I can make a few suggestions back in the comments. Have a beautiful